Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to explore a mysterious and captivating topic in the history of Christianity. The death of the Virgin Mary. The true story of the life and death of the Virgin Mary, a story few know about. This story is not just a journey of faith, but is also filled with mysteries and rich legends. The life and passing of the Virgin Mary remain a controversial and fascinating topic. According to Christian tradition, it is believed that Mary was taken up to heaven with both body and soul after her death. But how did this event actually take place? One theory suggests that Mary passed away peacefully as if falling asleep and God took her to heaven. Another theory claims that Mary never truly died but was assumed directly into heaven, similar to the case of the prophet Elijah in the Bible. Additionally, there is a story that Mary's tomb in the Kidron Valley was opened after centuries and was found completely empty, leading many to believe that her body was taken to heaven by God without decay. Could this be a sign of a miracle? Furthermore, many legends surround Mary's death, such as claims that she passed away in a town in India, or spent her final years in Ephesus with Saint John, the beloved apostle. These rich theories have fueled an endless debate in religious history, rendering the image of the Virgin Mary both sacred and mysterious. How could the life of a woman from Nazareth profoundly impact millions around the world? What happened in her final moments? And did she truly pass away in the way we typically understand? We'll delve into all of this in today's video, exploring historical records, legends, and religious beliefs that have developed over the centuries. Get ready to uncover the mystical and profound journey of the Virgin Mary. A like is just a click, but it's a huge motivation for us to create more engaging videos for you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any video in our upcoming exploration series. Throughout history, the Virgin Mary has become a symbol of faith and humility, the exemplary mother of Jesus, and the mother of all humanity in Christian faith. From oral traditions and religious records across centuries, Mary's image is surrounded by miracles and boundless love. She embodies unwavering faith and obedience to God, becoming a sacred figure whom millions revere and turn to in prayer. But what happened in the final moments of her life? We know that Mary was chosen by God to bear the Savior, a divine mission filled with profound suffering. From accepting the message of the angel Gabriel, to standing at the foot of the cross as her son suffered, to her passing, each stage of Mary's life carried immense meaning. So why is there no specific record of her death for someone of such significance? In the New Testament, although Mary appears at crucial moments, the Bible does not mention her death. This absence has led to countless theories. Many believers think that Mary passed away peacefully and was received by God. However, there are also stories suggesting that she never truly died but was simply taken up to heaven. Additionally, some records state that she spent her final years in Ephesus, an ancient town in present-day Turkey, where the Apostle John cared for her as Jesus entrusted from the cross. Perhaps due to her special role in Christian history, her death remains a mystery. Epiphanius found no reliable tradition regarding Mary's life. His writings reveal a lack of consensus about what happened to her. He mentioned 3 different beliefs. Some thought that the Virgin Mary died a peaceful death, others believed she died as a martyr, and still others believed she did not die at all. Epiphanius also wrote that Mary was like the prophet Elijah, who was taken up to heaven without dying. Mary was assumed into heaven at the end of her earthly life, with both body and soul taken up to heaven. This idea is echoed in later works such as De Obitu and De Transitu Virginis, which may have been written in the 5th century. Other authors such as Dionysius the Areopagite and Gregory of Tours also shared similar accounts. These works helped spread the belief in Mary's Assumption, which was considered unofficial until the 6th century. By the 8th century, however, this belief was widely accepted. Saint John of Damascus wrote that Mary passed away in the presence of the apostles. In Christian tradition, the concept of Mary's death is often linked with the event known as the Assumption of Mary, the belief that she was taken up to heaven, both soul and body. However, the exact manner and timing of her death remain unanswered. From Catholicism to Eastern Orthodoxy, Each tradition has its own beliefs and interpretations regarding Mary's death, creating a colorful and profound narrative of her passing. Despite the many differences, all these stories share a common point. Mary was no ordinary figure. She was part of a divine plan, and her death, whether in Jerusalem, Ephesus, or elsewhere, remains a symbol of faith, love, and unconditional sacrifice. This makes the Virgin Mary not only the mother of Jesus, but also a spiritual mother to millions of Christians worldwide. Throughout history, the Virgin Mary has become a symbol of faith, humility, and divine love that millions of believers worldwide revere. As the mother of Jesus, and also regarded as the mother of all humanity in Christian faith, her life is marked by sacred events and great trials, all reflecting her absolute obedience and deep trust in God. Mary's life began as a simple young woman in the small village of Nazareth. However, that ordinary life was forever changed when she received the message from the angel Gabriel that she had been chosen to bear the Son of God. At that time, she was still very young and betrothed to Joseph, a carpenter. Accepting the angel's message opened up an entirely different life for her, filled with divine responsibilities she had never anticipated. Humbly, Mary embraced this great role, saying, "Behold, I am the servant of the Lord. Let it be to me according to your word." Luke 1:38. This act of faith not only placed her at the heart of God's plan of redemption, but also made her a symbol of courage, as she accepted immense sacrifice and great risk. In Jewish culture of that time, a young woman becoming pregnant before marriage was not easily forgiven, and she could face rejection or judgment from the community. However, her humility and absolute trust in God's word helped her overcome these challenges. After giving birth to Jesus under difficult circumstances in Bethlehem, Mary and Joseph had to flee to Egypt to escape King Herod's pursuit. Their exile in Egypt is described as a challenging yet meaningful journey. Upon returning to Israel, her family settled in Nazareth, where she raised Jesus with all the care and love of a mother, yet with an understanding of his divine mission. Throughout Jesus' years of growing up, the Virgin Mary was always by his side, witnessing every stage of her son's life. There is a famous account in the Bible about Mary and Joseph anxiously searching for Jesus when he was just 12 years old. After 3 days of searching, they found him teaching in the temple, filling them with astonishment and pride. Mary often pondered deeply in her heart over things she could not fully understand, each time accepting with profound faith that all would happen according to God's will. Mary was not only a witness to the miracles Jesus performed during his ministry, but also experienced the most painful moment of her life when he was crucified on the cross. The image of Mary standing at the foot of the cross, silently enduring the pain of witnessing her son's death, is one of the most moving and profound moments in the New Testament. Many theologians view Mary's presence at the foot of the cross as an extension of her fiat, her consent, from long ago. Just as she accepted the role of being the Mother of God, she now accepts the suffering of seeing her son sacrificed. Mary shares in Jesus' pain and suffering in an intimate and personal way, her faith remaining steadfast even in the most tragic circumstances. There, Jesus entrusted his mother to the Apostle John, known as the beloved disciple. He said to Mary, "Woman, here is your son," and to John, "Here is your mother." John 19:26-27. This act was not only a way of caring for his mother, but is also seen as the moment Mary was given to humanity as the spiritual mother of all Christians. From that moment, St. John took her into his home and cared for her as his own mother. After Jesus' resurrection and ascension, records of Mary's life become sparse. According to some Christian documents and traditions, Mary spent her final years in peace and prayer. One theory suggests that she spent her last days in Ephesus, an ancient city in present-day Turkey, where she was taken by St. John to avoid persecution. There, she lived in a small house amid the peaceful surroundings of nature, and this place is believed to have become her final resting place. Today, the House of Mary in Ephesus has become a famous pilgrimage site, where believers from all over the world visit to show their reverence. However, some other traditions assert that she lived her final days in Jerusalem, where her body was laid to rest in a tomb in the Kidron Valley after her passing. According to Eastern Orthodox believers, this tomb is said to have been found empty when opened, leading them to believe that Mary was taken up to heaven without bodily decay, an event known as the Dormition of the Theotokos. In the Catholic Church, one of the firmest beliefs is that Mary was assumed into heaven, body and soul, upon completing her earthly life. Pope Pius XII declared the Assumption of Mary a dogma in 1950, officially affirming belief in this event as a truth of faith. This marked a significant milestone in Catholic doctrine, suggesting that Mary, with her purity and grace, was taken up to heaven by God without undergoing bodily decay. Despite the various interpretations of Mary's final years and death, all believers share a common point. They all believe that she was especially favored by God. Mary's life was not only a journey of sacrifice, patience, and faith, but also an endless source of inspiration for millions. And her death, whether peaceful or through Assumption, remains a sacred mystery, leaving a profound mark on the hearts of Christians around the world. Nations have preserved their own beliefs until recently, when scientists finally discovered her true resting place, a tomb that had been sealed for many years. In Jerusalem, the tomb of the Virgin Mary is located in the Kidron Valley, a famous valley situated between the city of Jerusalem and the Mount of Olives, surrounded by landscapes steeped in history and sacredness, such as the Garden of Gethsemane and the Church of All Nations. The Kidron Valley is not only frequently mentioned in the Bible, but is also home to numerous tombs of saints, prophets, and notable figures in the religious history of Judaism and Christianity. It is said that many significant events in Israel's history took place here, and for many believers, this valley serves as a bridge connecting earth and heaven. Within this sacred setting, Mary's tomb is a highly significant pilgrimage site. Mary's tomb, built at the same time in the 4th century, is visited by many people each year. A special building that houses Mary's tomb has been destroyed and rebuilt many times over the years. The current building was built by a group of Franciscan monks in the 14th century. The Greek Orthodox Church is the main custodian of the building, but they share some responsibilities with other Christian groups. To reach Mary's tomb, visitors must descend a long staircase that is more than 1,000 years old. On the way down, they pass two smaller chapels, one dedicated to Mary's husband Joseph and the other to her parents. When they reach the tomb, they must bend down to enter the small space inside. They are surrounded by beautiful medieval artwork and religious icons. The atmosphere is peaceful and solemn as worshippers come to pray and light candles. However, a miraculous event occurred when this tomb, sealed for thousands of years, was opened and found completely empty, with no trace of Mary's body. This has stirred the belief among millions of faithful that the Virgin Mary was assumed into heaven. This phenomenon not only astonished scientists and historians, but also reignited long-held beliefs and questions within the Christian community. Many believers immediately saw this as vivid evidence that Mary was assumed into heaven, a miracle that only God could perform. Some theologians have suggested that this emptiness is a divine sign that Mary underwent a unique journey, an assumption into heaven without experiencing bodily decay according to natural human processes. This has led to the belief that Mary, with her absolute faith and purity, was granted a special departure by God. Historical and theological sources indicate that since the 6th century, the Eastern Church officially declared the Dormition of the Virgin Mary as an essential part of doctrine. This became a symbol of the Assumption, which many regard as clear evidence of her unique sanctity. Every year on August 15th, Christians around the world celebrate the Feast of the Assumption of Mary. This day is considered her spiritual birthday and serves as an occasion for believers to remember and honor her life. Before the feast, Eastern Christians fast for 14 days to honor Mary's life and death. This means that they do not eat certain foods and also abstain from sex during this time. They follow strict rules during the weekdays, eating only certain foods and not drinking wine or oil. On the weekends, they are allowed to have wine, oil, and fish. This fasting is a way to show respect and devotion to Mary, the mother of Jesus. In total, more than 30 countries celebrate the Ascension Festival as a public holiday. In countries like France, Italy, Portugal, and Spain, this is a public holiday, where people take the day off work and gather at churches to participate in prayer services, light candles, and sing hymns in honor of Mary. Beyond remembrance, this feast is also a time for the faithful to express gratitude and seek the intercession of the Virgin Mary. Catholics believe that Mary is not only the mother of Jesus, but also the mother of all Christians, someone who listens and prays for those in hardship. At places like Fatima in Portugal and Guadalupe in Mexico, millions of pilgrims gather each year seeking comfort and protection from Mary. In these locations, the devotion of the faithful is expressed through sacred processions, where they offer fresh flowers and light candles as symbols of their faith and hope. In Catholic tradition, the Assumption of Mary is regarded as one of the sacred dogmas, formally declared by Pope Pius XII on November 1, 1950. The Catholic Church views this as a testament to the love and favor that God has for Mary. Specifically, this dogma asserts that Mary was assumed into heaven, both body and soul, without experiencing bodily decay. In contrast, the Orthodox Church emphasizes the dormition of Mary, wherein Mary passed away naturally and her soul was taken to heaven. In Orthodox doctrine, there is no mandatory belief in Mary's bodily assumption, but tradition still upholds a belief in a miracle associated with her passing. Many ancient legends and stories surround Mary's death, including the tale of St. Thomas, who is said to be the only apostle to witness Mary's assumption. According to an old legend, St. Thomas was left behind in India and was unable to reach Jerusalem with the other apostles on the day of Mary's passing. However, he was then miraculously transported just as Mary was beginning to be assumed into heaven, and he was able to witness this sacred moment. Leaving behind Mary's girdle as evidence, this story has become a profound symbol of Christian faith in God's presence during holy moments. The apparitions of the Virgin Mary are an inseparable part of Christian history. The most famous apparitions are at Fatima, Lourdes, and Guadalupe, where Mary delivered messages of peace, repentance, and God's mercy to the world. In Fatima, Portugal, Mary appeared before 3 children, calling them to pray for peace and the betterment of humanity. This is a profound reminder of Mary's love and care for all people. Mary's life is not only a story of a loving mother, but also a lesson in faith and courage. The Virgin Mary bore the sorrow of losing her son at the foot of the cross, facing every challenge with faith and love. She is an inspiration to millions, a symbol of devotion and compassion. Her image not only inspires Christians, but also resonates across many cultures and religions. In Islam, Mary is considered a truly wonderful woman, one of the best in history. God chose her because she was very pure and devoted to Him. She is often mentioned alongside other prophets and holy people. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, mentions Mary many times, showing her importance to Muslims. There are also many stories and traditions called hadith that tell more about Muhammad's special journey to heaven and his encounter with Mary. With thousands of years of faith and tradition, Mary's Assumption remains a symbol of profound faith and boundless reverence for the Holy Mother of Christianity. Thank you for following the story of the life and passing of the Virgin Mary. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment with your thoughts, give us a like, and click on one of the upcoming videos to continue watching. May you always find peace and be protected by the love of the Virgin Mary.